Hey y'all, this is Bobcat, and I'm here with the next video in the sourdough series. I decided to do bread instead of biscuits, but it's okay, bread tastes better anyway. So, here we have the starter. What I've done is I've taken it out of the fridge, added about a half cup of flour and a little bit of water, mixed it up, let it sit for about an hour to warm up. So now all the yeasts are active, so it's ready to be cooked. So, let's start with the baking. Okay, so to start, I'm going to take 2 cups of the starter here. It's pretty thick, so that's good. Next up, so there's 2 cups, and you're going to want to add about the same amount back into your starter, just so it doesn't run out. There's 2 cups of starter in there. I'm going to add, let me set this down here, I guess. Add about 2 teaspoons of salt. So there's 1, there's 2, and this isn't exact. It's not an exact recipe. I'm going to take a spoon, mix that in there. Probably should have grabbed a bigger spoon, but oh well. And I'm getting a text message. Lucky me. Okay, so that's mixed in there. I'm going to add, and I don't lose my spoon, I'm going to add a couple scoops of sugar here. About, I don't know, 2.5 teaspoons. Sourdoughs are very sour, so you want to take the edge off a bit with some sugar. So, mix that in. That's all mixed in. Okay. I'm going to add some more flour, so here's about 2 cups-ish. Mix in. First bit, it's about a cup to start with, just to get this thickened up, so I can start kneading it a little. It's getting kind of thick. See, it's thicker than it was earlier. It smells very yeasty right now because yeast is awake since I let it warm up. Alright. Now it's getting kind of too thick to use with a spoon. So, take the spoon out, set that to the side, add the rest of the flour. I'm just going to use my hands for this. Let me get my hand. It's not going to take all this flour, but it'll take quite a bit of it. The leftover flour you can stick right back in your starter. So, yeah. Take some of it out. We need all of it. Alrighty. It's holding together pretty well now. Got a pretty decent loaf of bread here. Well, loaf of dough. I'm going to set that aside on this plate here. This. Add that to it. I'm going to scrape this out and add the rest of that into my starter, rebuild that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I got that all taken care of. So I'm going to take a little bit of cooking oil. This is avocado oil, but it's not really that important. I'm going to pour about a tablespoon-ish in the bowl. Take it and just kind of spread it around inside, just so the dough doesn't stick while it's rising. It's about 10 o'clock at night right now, so I'm going to let this rise overnight, and then we'll bake it tomorrow. Because these sourdoughs take 8 to 9 hours to rise, which makes them convenient if you've got a job or just want bread tomorrow. So here we go, got it nice and oiled. Just going to take the dough, take it, got a little bit of crumbs from some bread that was on the plate I had it on, but it's fine. So in there, you can smell the yeast going to work. Alright, so shape it a little bit. Then I'm going to cover it with a damp paper towel. Let me get the paper towel here. Got a paper towel. I'm just going to let it sit here on top of the stove overnight and let it rise. So, we'll check back tomorrow. Okay, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, so now it's time to transfer the dough to a bread pan. You can see it's risen quite a bit, so what I'm going to do first is actually oil the bread pan before I punch the bread down. You punch the bread down to get the gases out, then let it re-rise in the pan. So, you can see, move that out of the way. Got some oil in here. I'm just going to oil the sides. You can use butter or whatever. Cooking spray, doesn't really matter, just need to grease your pan. Okay, so that's nicely greased. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to punch it down. Ooh, sticky. Yeah, you can feel the gases coming out of it. Ooh, I can smell it too. Okay, I'm just going to pick the dough up. And I've got it, you can't see it, my camera's in a weird place. But, anyway, stick it. Get that out of the way, bring this in. There's the dough, I'm just going to spread it out, make it fairly even. And there we go, fits pretty well in there. Should have used a bigger pan, but it should be fine. It'll just rise kind of high above the edge. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it for probably another 3 hours-ish, more or less, until it rises over the edge of the pan. And it's kind of cold today, so to get it to rise, I'm going to put it in the oven, and just kind of keep the oven around 100 degrees, more or less. And, there we go. So, cover this with a towel, put it in the oven, and be back when it's risen. Okay, so that appears to be all the rising we're going to get out of this loaf, which is okay. It's just going to be a little bit flatter than your stereotypical piece of bread, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is put this in the oven at 375 at probably about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, we'll see. I've got a pan of water in the oven too, that'll help make the top crunchy. So the oven's heating up, so I'm going to go and put this in when it's done. Here we are at about 15 minutes. Looking pretty good. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes from being done. I'm going to put a butter top on it. So, take a bit of butter. There's the butter. So I'm trying to do this with one hand. Just throw some butter on here. There's my brother in the background. You can hear him. But there we go. Butter top on the bread. So, come over here. Timer 5 minutes. And there we go. Alright. Let's check this bread. Looks good. I'd say it looks pretty done. Alright. Close that. Oven off. Okay, so here's how you tell if sourdough is done. See if it sounds hollow. Sounds pretty hollow. So there's the bread. Okay, I'm going to leave this to cool for probably 2 or 3 hours. Then I'll pull it out. In the meantime, I'm going to go see if I can shoot a couple quail and eat them together for dinner. So, we'll see. Didn't get any quail, but the bread got eaten with soup. So there you go, that's how you make sourdough bread out of sourdough starter. So next time maybe I'll do biscuits, or maybe just more bread, we'll see. Anyway, this is Bobcat.
Thanks for watching Bobcat in the Woods. If you like what you saw, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you want to be notified when I put out my next video, go ahead and subscribe. While you're doing that, I'm going to cross that log.